Welcome back to another video. Today I'll be debunking this YouTuber called Debunking igneel on Natsu vs Escanor vs Yamamoto. Don't ask me why he has igneel in his name when he doesn't know much about fairytail. Anyway, let's just look at his bum-ass video and see his arguments against fairytail.
Magic in fairytail is made up of ether nano, which is in the atmosphere, and I'm not sure what ether nano is made of. It is a physical construct, but it's so small you usually can't see it, kind of like an atom or a photon. But as for Natsu scaling, we see Natsu being relative to Suzaku, which is the same Suzaku is stronger than human form Selene, who is planetary to large planetary level, depending on how you interpret her increasing the moon's size, if you think it was by her giving the moon more mass, or if you think she simply pulled the moon closer to the planet to make it appear bigger.
Starting off, and it's already indicated that this person is slow, not even really surprised, and pretty much blatantly shows. Saying fairytail is only planetary to large planetary by the time of a 100-year quest is atrocious. Especially when you're talking about a dragon god. Matter of fact, they're saying dragon god that quite literally affects hyperspaces and universes simply by getting a little serious in baseball. With another dragon god saying that is simply the power of a dragon god, meaning that they can probably just do this casually. Like, mind you, the skill that he used, like the moon skill for Selene and everything, was just prior to the skill that I mentioned right now, meaning that he blatantly just ignored that on purpose.
And a dragon force Natsu is on the level of suppressed dragon gods, which have no real scaling.
No real scaling. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that this is just rage bait.
Other than they are stronger than Acnologia, but this doesn't really matter since Acnologia has no planetary feats and kinda struggled trying to destroy the world.
Proof Acnologia struggled to destroy the planet. I'm genuinely curious on if there's any indication on that whatsoever. I'm pretty sure there's stuff that go against that factor since it was stated that he's just targeting a large portion of magic, etc, etc. But leave it up to you to not know the context of whatever the fuck he's talking about. Also, I wonder why you're mainly talking about destructive capacity. Just interesting.
As for Natsu's heat resistance, I don't think you can argue his heat is 15 million degrees or higher, since his best heat feats being unquantifiable, as burning time magic isn't the same as burning natural time.
The problem with that is you purposefully ignore the fact that time magic actually transcends time itself. Not to mention that given magic's attributes, time magic would quite literally be its own functionality of time itself.
I know Zeref says he is burning time itself, but that's just in reference to his fairy heart magic, which is time manipulation.
This further shows how dumb this person is. Zeref's space-time magic doesn't come from fairy heart, it comes from the space between time. His eternal, infinite magic power is what he gains from fairy heart, with the combination of these two criteria being what he calls the pinnacle of magic.
Natsu's speed is quite questionable though, as someone like Base Wendy gets perception blitzed by Haku, whose speed is comparable to light speed.
Leave it up to your dumbass to try and lie to your fanbase while not doing any ounce of research on fairytail. Nowhere does it state definitively that Haku is light speed. The statement is used metaphorically to just affirm the fact that he's really fast, which can apply to any form of speed or any level of speed for that matter. He doesn't really get into Natsu's hacks and just mentions the basics, which is expected given the dumbass he is, so I'll just skip to his conclusion.
It's obviously Natsu, who is the first to go. Although Natsu is the most versatile out of the three when it comes to fire manipulation, but his speed is the problem. Although his AP is on par with Escanor and Yamamoto, his speed isn't though. And both Yamamoto and Escanor can attack Natsu's soul, which we see Natsu get no deft by someone who attacks the soul.
In regards to him saying that Yamamoto and Escanor are faster than Natsu, I could probably place down an argument that would get Natsu speed about both of them, but I'm not planning on doing that ITM substantiating the certain bear assertions, which I indicated prior, which is also the reason why I'm not obligated to place down any prior argument prior to said factor. I said prior too much. Anyway, the last thing that he said was about the souls and stuff, and that dude takes away people's souls no different. Therefore, you can make the inference that Yamamoto and Escanor would beat Natsu by erasing his soul or something. But the problem with that is that he ignores the fact that Natsu has already shown resistance to soul erasure, as he goes on to do even crazier feats in terms of hacks, like resisting attacks that are beyond attacks which can erase you on a conceptual level. So all in all, that would mostly just upskill the person in a 100-year course that could take away your soul above the average soul erasure, which you'd have to prove applies to Escanor and Yamamoto as well. So I don't know why he's making these hasty generalizations.
And we see Natsu can't do shit to spiritual beings. Natsu had to use thought projection magic on his own soul in order to fight a soul. But he forgot how to do that due to his low IQ. And Natsu won't be getting taught how to use that since in a neutral verse, Beta Heaven won't even exist.
Beta Heaven is quite literally a dimension that exists within the idealization or consciousness of a being within fairytail. Therefore, saying that it won't apply crossverse is basically the same as saying Natsu won't have a functioning brain. Are you slow?
It's also worth mentioning that Natsu can't eat either side's fire since both of them technically don't use fire.
As I indicated prior with Therion, it isn't only composed of fire, and Natsu is able to eat it, which affirms the fact that Natsu can can eat energy as long as he scales above. There have even been indications of Natsu eating energy that he doesn't necessarily scale above by just changing the vessel type of his body, etc., etc. But there's no need to get into that now, because you can obviously make arguments for Natsu being about Yamamoto and Escanor, although that would be something that I'm mainly willing to debate him about, especially given the stuff that he said about fairytail in the past.
And even if we say it is, if Natsu tries to eat it, he would just die because those flames attacks the soul itself. And as for Escanor's fire, that's just nuclear fusion, which has cosmic radiation, something Natsu has never dealt with. Natsu has never dealt with. Natsu has never dealt with.
Yeah, this person's genuinely fucking retarded and it shows. What the hell do you mean that Natsu's never dealt with that before? Etherion is quite literally relative to that of the nuclear fusion, which is 200 million degrees. And within the Celestial Spirit realm arc, which is canon, I'm not gonna go through why it's canon. If you guys are really interested, just like DM my code or some shit. But within the Celestial Spirit realm arc, Natsu's literally eating like a star within the Celestial Spirit beast microcosmic body. You know, the same beast that could eat multiple planets, stars, universes, etc., etc. This goes to show that this Napana igneel person does not know what the fuck he's talking about. Anyway, on that note, that's all for now. Hopefully this dumbass Nirvana igneel person debates me, especially given the past stupid shit he said about fairytail, like his bum ass fairytail debunk video. And yeah, that's all for now.